All right, so I've just got over work, and I just want to talk about, right? Everyone's so afraid to be hard on themselves nowadays. Like, everywhere I see people just being like, literally, oh, don't be so hard on yourself, and oh, you're only human, stuff like that. But why? Like, if you've identified something that you are not happy with in the way that you conduct yourself in life, why not beat yourself up about it? Why not, like, actually go to town and being like, you really need to do better, or you're such an idiot for doing that, or just actually, like, give yourself a bollocking, give yourself a punishment for fucking up sometimes. Like, don't do it again. Why have we got to be so, like, fucking soft of ourselves? This is like, like, everyone's so soft. There's this idea that, like, we should be so compassionate with everyone, and like, oh, you don't know. Like, I understand, people are going through things. You don't know what people are going through, but when it's something like someone's eaten too much and not done enough exercise, yeah, right, there can be a phase when someone's died or you've gone through something intense where, like, there can be a little bit of slack. But if it's just your day-to-day life, like, why can you not just fucking use your brain, control your fucking hands, and not put food into your mouth? You know, it's not it's not difficult for some reason. Like, but maybe that's for me because I give myself a fucking bollocking if I've been bad. If I've eaten too many calories one day, I give myself a bollocking. I punish myself for it. Right, you got to do. If I say I go out and I eat too much one day, and then I, have a few drinks, whatever, I know that's too many calories. You got to get up and do a run tomorrow, boy. To myself. You give yourself a little punishment. Why have we got to pander to ourselves like we're really emotionally not in control? Like, I think that's a problem of our generation. We're just not in control of our emotions. We can't regulate our own emotions. So everyone's got to pander to everyone all the time because everyone gets offended if you say the wrong thing, or no one can take a bit of criticism or any of that. Like, fuck that. Like, if you've done something wrong or you're not working optimally, you should you should rejoice in some criticism. If someone tells you something that, like, oh, you could be doing a little bit better, instead of taking everything to heart and being so, like, such a pussy and being so weak emotionally, why can we not just be like, that is actually a good point? And, being open to ideas of somebody else, being open minded to the fact that we're not a complete 100% perfect human being. Um, we we can um, benefit from someone else's point of view sometimes. It doesn't always have to be you're right all the time. But if someone says to me something like, "Oh, you done something not optimally, or you did this wrong," I'm not just, like, completely collapsing into myself, like, oh no, no, like, oh, this has ruined my day and all that shit. Like, for me, it's, oh, that's brilliant. That is something that I can do better. And then I'm not, like, completely devastated by it. So why have, but I'm that person to myself as well. This is the thing. I'm being hard on myself. If I've if I've not been acting right to my family or my friends, if I've had a very stressful day and I've taken it out on someone, I give myself a mental ass whooping for it. If I've felt stressed and I've taken it out on someone, I beat myself up. Not literally like punching myself, but, and I journal. I think I'm quite reflective, so I journal at the night time and I reflect on how good of a person have I been in that day. I beat myself up about it. You can do better, Dan. That day, that day, you did this and that was bad. That day, it doesn't always have to be with diet and exercise. Some days I'm stressed and I take out on people and I beat myself up about it. You weren't nice enough today, or you overlooked something you could have done to be kind. Or sometimes I think, in reflection, I think, like, sometimes I could have been kind, but I was a bit scared of what the reaction would have been if I'd gone out of my way to be kind. So I didn't act kindly out of fear, and that's bad. So I beat myself up about that. You should be courageous and act kindly all the time. Some of these things. This is a big old rant here, isn't it? Feeling it. Let's have a bit of Evian. Everyone, water break. Okay. Have some water, right? But let's let's analyze our behavior and let's actually beat ourselves up about it a little bit and do better in the future. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being a bit bad on yourself if you are improving. You know, you are going to improve next time. Brilliant. Hit it home. And don't be so emotionally unstable to the point where a little bit of criticism from external sources or yourself is just going to destroy you. You know, you need to have a bit of resilience. You need to find ways to become more resilient, which I'm sure I'll talk about in another one. But let's accept if someone's telling you something that you don't like, or someone's telling you something that you've done wrong, let's try and understand it. You know, let's try and understand where they're coming from. What did you do wrong? Could you do anything better next time? Because really, if someone's telling you you've done something wrong, that's a win for you, because you might not have been able to identify that you've done something wrong. But now you can update your character as a person, and you might not continue to do things wrong in the future. Obviously, people's opinions or people's viewpoints are going to differ from ours, so we might not think, we might hear them out and then ultimately logically decide, nah, you know, I don't agree with them, but I still heard them out. Good to hear people out, but you should be able to try and put yourself in other people's shoes to see if you did wrong or not without being just destroyed, you know, by it. So we shouldn't. I don't really massively agree with pandering to people who just can't do something, or you know, safe tiptoe around something because you're scared of the way that people might take it. I'm becoming a little bit unapologetic in the way that I say and do things. I'm not trying to monitor my speech to not offend someone, because I don't want anyone to do that with me. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think in the past, when I've spent time eating too much, or, you know, say the time when I got fat, like I spoke on the previous podcast with Dave, right? I got fat. I ate too much, exercised too little. Dave said to me, "You've got fat. Brilliant. Good man." Everyone else was tiptoeing around it and didn't say shit. But from that moment, I've got fat. I need to reduce calories, increase exercise. Brilliant. And I didn't just get destroyed by it. I went, oh, you know what? You're right. Why can't everyone else be like that? I know some people, when you get on the conversation of like fatness and stuff, people like, they just want to be pandered to and treated like little children, you know? But why? You're an adult. Just don't put the food in your face. You know, everyone has difficult lives. Everyone gets it. Everyone has struggle in their life. We get it. But you have the decision to do everything that you do in your life. You are making the choice to do it. So don't put the food in your face if you don't want to be fat. That's just one little thing there, fatness there. We got that out of the way. Fatness gone. One example, you know, for me personally, being told directly is the way that it works. So that I'm coming at it from a bias of, this is how it works for me. I understand it might not work for you, and I have certain opinions on that based on my bias of who I am. But if this kind of mindset is not for you, then just don't watch the video. That is fine. You know, I'm not particularly bothered if you watch or not. But you know, develop a little bit of resilience, I think, because would you rather be decimated by things or constantly seeking to improve? Would you rather be able to just get on with your life and take a bit of criticism, or be completely wrecked and all your progress stumped because someone said you did something wrong? You know, it's like, I'd definitely rather be resilient and just crack on. And I'm hard on myself about things because I want to change. I don't want to be blown through life like a leaf in the wind. I want to have a life I want. I want to create my life. I want to be proactive and not reactive in my life. If you want to be reactive in your life, fine, do it. But you're not going to live a life that you want. You're going to be living a life that the universe has just dragged you through. I want to live a life that I want. I want to beat myself up if I do something wrong, so I'm better, you know? I don't want to just be accepted for who I am. I want to be better every day. I don't want to be accepted for who I am. That's an honest one. If I'm not, if not perfect, I don't strive to be perfect, but if I'm not being as good as I can be, then I don't want to be accepted. I want people to say, you can be doing better. I don't want to just settle for mediocrity. This is a big rant here, you know, but I've just got home from work. I'm having my Evian. This was spurted on from my dad. We were having a conversation at work. He's got type 2 diabetes. He's got a blood glucose monitor in his arm, like one of the ones with the little needle prick thing that goes in your arm. And we're talking about he's tracking. Good man. He's tracking his blood sugar. He's type 2 diabetic. He's got a thing that goes in his arm, and he's tracking his blood sugar. He's figuring out what foods spike it, what foods don't, what he can do in the day. He's looking at the trends in his blood sugar to try and work it out. Good man. You know, he's trying to live the life that he wants. He's trying to reverse some damage that he's done and figure out how best to move forwards. But we were talking about, he went in for his diabetic checkup, the blood test, and one time he came in and his reading was, you know, really low in the normal range, and he went back and it had gone up to a certain amount, and he came back the next time and it was down like by 2 points, but still in the high blood sugar, and they were like, oh, well done, it's down by 2 points. And he said, what do you mean well done? It's still high. I want it to be this level, which is good, not this level, which is bad. What do you mean well done? That's not good. And that conversation spurred this on. Sometimes we don't need little praises for little things. You know, yes, reward yourself when you do little things, but the goal is there. I do agree. You should have little rewards for achieving the little goals on the path. Like, you know, if you're doing a long walk or a hike or whatever, the little goals in your brain, you get little dopamine for, oh, if I can get to the top of that hill, or if I can get to that lamppost, or when I get to that red house or something, you know, the little dopamine hit, like you should reward yourself mentally for achieving little goals, but not to the point where you're still doing something bad and praising yourself for it. You know, I'm thinking of examples in my head now of things where I'm still not doing something optimally. Should I be praising myself for that? And thinking, yeah, it's improved, but it's not good yet. And I beat myself up still about it, about these things, because they're not good yet. That's the way I think. If it's not good yet, improve. I'm not just satisfied with mediocrity. But I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to waffle too much again, you know. Let me know what you think. I don't know. Some people, they need to be treated a bit more carefully. They're unstable. They need to be mollycoddled a little bit, you know, but I can't stand that. I can't stand it. You know, I'm not saying if you're a person like that, I can't stand you. And, you know, when I talk about fatness, I'm not saying I don't like fat people. Like if I saw a fat person, I don't like them. Or, you know, on a personal level, I'm going to like people based on their character, not necessarily based on individual things. Like, but it's just for me, I can't stand being treated, you know, being mollycoddled, and I need to just be told how it is. Otherwise, not that I'm not going to change, because I'm not mollycoddling myself, but it's just I can't stand it if I feel like I need to monitor my speech. I can't stand if I feel like other people are monitoring their speech to me. I just can't stand it. But I would do, if one of my friends was a bit unstable emotionally, I'm obviously going to do that around them. I'm not like just complete asshole who just goes around spouting off exactly what they think all the time. If I've got like, you know, a friend who's really going through it mentally, you know, so hit the most unstable mentality they've had, they're going for a bit of mental health, I'm not just going to go up and, you're a dickhead, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. You know, you would coax it in a bit I would tell the truth, but I would coax it in gently, you know, in a kind way. I'm not I'm not saying I'm going to go around being a dickhead, but, you know, just not tread on eggshells too much. You know, people can hear the truth, and it can be that they're doing something wrong. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, if you enjoy it, let me know. Like it if you want. Cool. If you want to hear anything specifically me talk about, let me know. I'm just literally, I've got a massive list of things that I think about on the day to day. When I get a few minutes, I'm going to sit and just record some, and I'll bang them out on YouTube. I still haven't even set up the YouTube yet. When I set up the YouTube, these will probably come out 2 a week or something, maybe, because I'm writing down loads. I need to actually bang through them, just like ideas. But this one today, I wanted to do. Oh, a perfect quote for this as well. Oh, I've said this right at the very end of it when I'm just signing out. So the perfect quote, we'll just use it as a summary. The perfect quote to summarize this is, I don't know how the beginning of it goes, but the end of the quote goes, it's something about, changing your life and reshaping who you are is painful because the man is both the marble and the sculptor, you know? Have you seen that picture with the statue man who's made of marble, hammer and chisel, banging himself out? He's usually jacked or ripped, banging himself out of the marble. It's going to be painful, If you are the marble and you're trying to sculpt yourself, chipping bits off of yourself, it's going to hurt, isn't it? But we've got to sometimes do it to be better, to improve. All right. So I'll leave you with that. Let me know anything. Hope you enjoyed. Right. Nice one.